What? Okay, can you hear me now? Why is Zencaster like this?
I can hear you. How are you doing?
Oh, hmm,
How are you doing, Joe?
good. How are you?
Me? Yeah, I'm fine. And
Great.
welcome to our lovely listeners.
Yes.
Welcome to Your Time Starts Now, a Taskmaster podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm Emerson.
And I am Joe.
I wanted you to say your name first for a change, but oh well.
Ah, he is Emerson, and I am Joe.
Oh well. Maybe next episode. Um,
Yeah.
Banter.
Banter, indeed. Shit,
Uh,
I had something that I
sorry,
was
I
going to
bumped
say, and
my.
now I've forgotten.
I keep bumping. Fucking hell! I keep bumping my microphone.
Ah, I didn't hear anything, but hopefully our listeners didn't either. But yes, banter. I did remember.
Well,
I
this is a
sent
way
you
to
this.
start.
This is exactly in line with the rest of our podcast. We had audio issues before we hit record, and now we're here. By the way, listeners at home, please email us if I sound noticeably different. I got a third different microphone to see if this sounds any better, and Emerson thinks to seem that I sound noticeably different. I listened to the same audio, and I didn't notice anything different. So let us know in
Well,
the comments or send us an email at ytsnpod@gmail.com.
well,
Because
to
I
me,
genuinely need to know.
you sound very, very weird, Joe. Your audio personally sounds like the worst it's ever been. But whether it comes out that way in the final version, I don't know.
I think that, well, I haven't. We're going to listen to this one at some point, but I think the worst mine has sounded to date is probably one of the season 1 episodes where I was so loud that I was so quiet that you had to turn mine up all the way, and it really like messed with the audio volume, and it sounded really weird. I don't remember which one it was, but I hopefully this is not as bad as that.
Oh well, we shall see in the final edit. Anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be covering episode 4 of series 2. Welcome to Rico Face.
Although before we start, we mentioned I sent this to you last night. Gentle listeners of our podcast, are any of you happen to be working for the Taskmaster YouTube channel? Because last night there was a video put up on the YouTube channel for Taskmaster, the TV show that we are ostensibly talking about, and it is called. Let me see so I can get it exactly right. It is called Oh Balls. It is a video. It went up yesterday, and it is a compilation of all the ball-related jokes from Taskmaster. Coincidentally, this went up like the week after we did our episode, that the first episode of our season 2 podcast, Ball Gags, went up. So, if any of you are listening, please let us know, or drop a coded message into the next episode of whatever Taskmaster video goes up.
Yeah. Also, are you wearing headphones?
Yes.
Because like I can hear I could hear what you were playing.
Yeah, I forgot that the volume on my phone wasn't muted. That was my bad.
I mean, because we have this weird thing. What's it? Well, I can hear my audio very faintly on your audio tracks.
I've been able to hear yours as well. The problem with that's the other reason why I changed headphones is because the previous ones, I did mention that these Logitech headphones that I have, I'm holding them up as if anyone else can see them. They don't fit on my head properly, and so they weren't over the ear. They didn't like enclose my ears so that the sound could escape.
Shit.
But fortunately, I have bought these larger, like ear encompassing headphones from Razer. This is not an endorsement. This is what Amazon had.
I think this is the lowest level of energy we've ever had for a podcast.
Yeah, because this is 12:31 in the afternoon on a Sunday where I am,
It's
not to be
it's
not
about
to be
it's
rude.
it's about 5:30 here. I've only been awake about 4 hours.
I've been awake like an hour and a half, and not to be rude to you, Emerson, but it is sunny and nice outside, and I have family from out of town in town this weekend. I would be rather doing anything else, but we have to record 2 episodes today, so we're just going to do this.
Oh yeah, for those who don't know, we will be recording episodes 4 and 5 today. So if maybe episode 5 will have some fake banter for stuff that didn't actually happen. Because
Episode 5 will have no banter. It will just please reference the banter of last week.
maybe if we could be fucked, because like I've learned recently that I can't be fucked with a lot of stuff. We'll put a to be continued at the end of this, and then it'll pick up with previously on Your Time Starts Now, Taskmaster podcast next week.
Mm-hmm.
Although I say that would
be really funny.
Although I say I can't be fucked. I'm in the process of editing episode 3. It's going good, but I just can't be asked to make a jingle for Mfok. So if when the episode comes out, it's not gonna we're like built up to have a jingle for him when he takes over the Taskmaster Joe segment. But honestly, I just can't be asked to make one.
Just put his audio over the Taskmaster Joe jingle.
Well, I've already said now that I can't be asked to do it, so I'm not going to make it.
Well, yes, but this is in the future, so it'll be different. Although I would like to point out
this is some weird ass time travel.
Mm-hmm. I would like to point out that in the I can't be asked to do anything, I win on that because I mentioned in episode 2, which is up, that at some point there would be an episode where a title card appeared that said, and at this point the editor couldn't be bothered anymore and so stopped editing this video. I dropped that title card at that point and it continued for the rest of the video, because it was 2:00 in the morning the day the episode was supposed to go up. And so I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to go to bed. I have work in the morning.
Oh, wow.
By the way, if you don't get me that episode audio within the next, day or so, I might not be able to do the video this week because I know what my work schedule is this week, and I'm not going to have time to do it. Because if
I'll do my best. I'm about halfway through episode 3. It's sorry, it's nearly there. Why do I keep looking away from my microphone?
That's the other reason why I got a headset mic, is so that if I turn my head to the left like I'm doing now, I can still be heard, as opposed to before when I couldn't. But you might have to do this week's video because I know that I'm not going to have the time or the energy to do it if you send it to me on Monday night or Tuesday night.
Wow. Well, I'll see how I feel.
I'm really not going to be able to because I'm going to be working long this week.
All right, I'll see if I can do it then. But oh well. I think we should.
This is gripping content.
Yeah, literally, the energy levels are so low. And if they're so low for the first episode we're recording, imagine how low they're going to be for episode 5.
I ramp up as I go along.
Yeah.
I ramp up as I go along.
I think we better make a start because if we just continue, because there's literally nothing interesting happening in my life.
Gasp! Only 9 minutes of banter. Holy shit!
Well, all our episodes, the first 3 episodes of series 2 have been really, really long. These 2 could be a little bit shorter, maybe.
Mercy me! What a wonder that could be.
All right, so should we just go into the episode if we don't have a lot to
Which one of us is starting off? I can't remember.
Can I do the prize task this week?
Sure thing. You can talk about blue meaning stuff.
Yeah, but first, Alex and Greg have a little bit of banter, and Alex says he's in charge of admin, which he kind of is, but also kind of isn't, and he says he does it with a great sense of humor. And Greg says, "Nice Tinder entry, Alex."
He's also Greg's right-hand man on his left-hand side.
That is very true. Although I think people situated on the left are normally if you're on the left of someone, you're normally perceived as like the stronger individual, I believe.
I don't know.
It's like I think it's like we normally tend to focus on the left-hand side first.
No, maybe. I don't know.
It's like if Greg and Alex, like if Alex sat on Greg's right so that he would be on the viewer's left, that wouldn't feel right, would it?
I mean, I would only think that because we've seen 11, 12, however, specials.
11 series, 2 Champion of Champions specials and 1 New Year's special.
All of those, we've seen them in that order. I'm certain that if they sat on the opposite side of each other, we would be saying the exact same thing about if Alex was on the left. Just because of
Sorry,
similarity.
I just yawned. Probably. Anyway, prize task. Coolest blue thing. Catherine brings in an electric blue dog collar.
Yeah, for note, electric and blue are separate. It's not colored electric blue. It is a blue colored dog collar that shocks people.
Yeah, that's right. Animals. And also, Greg has. I honestly, I can't exactly remember. No, actually, I do vaguely remember. She said it's really cool. Greg asks, "Is it cool?" I think Catherine either says yes or she doesn't say anything, and then Greg moves on. So that literally shows how little he's got to say about it.
Well, because electric dog collars are kind of cruel. I mean, it's one of these anti-shock, like one of these anti-bark dog collars that the dog barks, and then it wasn't explained very well. It either shocks the dog or it makes like a really high-pitched tone that makes it like, that hurts its ears. It's like, neither of those are okay, really, if you're looking at this from an animal welfare perspective. Like, I don't like animals, but it seems to me that shocking the dog into compliance is not the way to fix the problem.
You and I are not going to get along if you don't like animals, mate.
We've been through this.
Yes, I know. And I still feel a kind of bitter resentment to you about that.
You are allowed to like animals. I am not an animal person, but you are allowed to like animals.
Let's move on before people feel any sort of hate to you.
Cool, whatever.
Great Scott, it's Doc Brown. I've been wanting to make that joke for ages. Anyway.
I have intentionally avoided making that joke.
Oh, that kind of feeds into something with what Doc brings in. He says he's brought in the vinyl cover for the Average White Band's Feel No Fret. And Doc says they are the funkiest Scottish band on earth. And then what Alex does is he pulls up a picture of them, the Average White Band, but he pulls a picture up of them in like modern day.
A recent photo of the Average White Band.
And that doesn't make them, and no offense to the Average White Band, but they don't look particularly cool now. And Doc says you should have got a picture of them from the 80s. But then Greg says, and I think he sort of missed the irony or the humor in what he says, there isn't any time travel involved in this or something like that. And Doc Brown, also a famous time traveler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Scottish White Scott.
Yeah, Scottish White Band. Scottish White Band.
The average Scottish band.
Average
like,
white.
They're like a bunch of ginger, like redheaded men in tam o' shanter and kilts with bagpipes.
Yeah.
Hey, wee laddie.
If they could do funk and rock on bagpipes, that'd be cool. But no, Average White Band is most known for the song "Pick Up the Pieces," which we will not have an audio clip of here because we don't want to get copyright striked. But
maybe we've been copyright striked already.
Listen, we got a copyright warning on one of the YouTube videos because I included a small like GIF of the Cleveland Browns beating the shit out of the Pittsburgh Steelers back in season 1, and YouTube was like, "We're not going to do anything about it, but you can't monetize this video because of like a 2-second clip."
Well, our videos aren't monetized anyway, so we've lost nothing.
Specifically, like episode 2 of season 1 is not eligible for monetization in the future, which I don't really care about. But what I was going to say is that I would have thought that the Proclaimers were fairly funky, but I realize that I don't know any other song from the Proclaimers other than "I Would Walk 500 Miles."
That's a banger of a tune, though.
It is a great tune, but I don't
even know if we could sing it, but we probably should.
I mean, we won't.
I mean, I like singing. I don't sing professionally, but I like to just do it from time to time. I might even get singing lessons.
Let me rephrase this. I like singing. I can't sing. There's a difference.
I think you can sing. It's just not everyone can sing like everyone else.
I'm not good. I could become good, but I am currently not good. Yeah, if we're going to do a minor bit of banter, the Proclaimers, according to Wikipedia, their genres are alternative folk, alternative rock, Celtic pop, country folk, folk rock, post-punk, rhythm and blues, and roots rock. That's a wide range of things that you could do.
I don't know. I was just going to say there's other like Scottish bands. Franz Ferdinand, Scottish band, I think.
Yeah, I don't know any other Scottish bands. I just happen to remember that the Proclaimers were Scottish.
Yeah, Franz Ferdinand is a Scottish band. You might, if anyone's heard the song like "Take Me Out," if you search it, "Take Me Out" Franz Ferdinand, you'll probably recognize the song.
Okay.
I think most. Because there used to be like a radio station in the car that I was forced to listen to, and they played "Take Me Out," like a short snippet of the song, to like introduce like a segment or something. I don't know. Anyway, Joe Wilkinson. He's
from the north.
Yeah, and he thinks the word blue means like filthy and inappropriate, and so he's brought in Seagoing Sexpot. And now, unfortunately, Joe Zadar, my co-host, you have prematurely been demoted to third best Joe in my mind.
Why?
Because Seagoing Sexpot is written by Joe Martin.
You know, if you want to rate me below some pulp porn writer, that's fine. I know where I stand in the real world. Although I do like that Joe Wilkinson, because apparently Northerners are the ones who associate blue with filth. But I Googled Joe Wilkinson, and he has an appropriately Joe Wilkinson picture on his Wikipedia page. He was born in Bromley.
I mean, it'd be weird if you Googled Joe Wilkinson and there was a picture of, say, Dave Grohl.
No, here, I'm going to put his picture in the Discord chat. That's his Wikipedia picture. That is the most Joe Wilkinson you could be.
I have to disagree because he's wearing a hoodie, and he looks best in a suit, like a corduroy suit.
Well, no, but that is the most Joe Wilkinson like photo you could find to put on this, because he is obviously not aware he is being photographed. He obviously has not prepped for this at all. This is like a smartphone image or something.
Well, I said before that Joe Wilkinson looks like a guy who was sleeping about 10 minutes before recording, and he's just been shaken awake and brought in.
Oh, this is a cropped video this is a cropped still from a YouTube video. That explains it.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
It gives the source in the bottom of the Wikipedia page. So that's where that came from.
All right. I've never read Seagoing Sexpot. Should we include the I think there's a little bit of a description or something.
We're just going to include the snippet from it that Alex reads, because I don't think either of us could do it justice.
All right. Take it away, Alex.
With the rumble of the diesels.
Oh, yeah.
and the slosh of water in the bilges. As accompaniment, she welcomed him with a savagery and wantonness alien to her usually hesitant nature.
That's
quite nice, isn't it?
Page 17.
Page 17.
There.
Beautiful. Still brings a tear to my eye every time I hear it.
It makes me want to never go to page 17.
Anyway, Ricardo Osmano, whatever, he brings in a riot helmet that belongs to his 15-year-old son from the...
Sonny.
Yeah, and his daughter's called Daughtery. Daughtery. If I had to guess, I'd say this... Did he say which riots this came from? Was it the 2011 London riots?
He did not. I believe the entire...
That was the most infamous London riot ever.
Yeah, I believe the back and forth was more about Greg asking, is your son okay with crushing civil liberties? And then Richard implying that his son was using this to fight back against the crushing of civil liberties. So it was more along the lines of not a police riot helmet, but a helmet that was used to riot.
Oh, okay.
Like his... Although, I'm actually going to... police uniforms and stuff have very good aesthetics. We're not going to talk about, anything else in that regard, but it all looks cool because there's a lot of political controversy going on around that. We're not going to get into that at all. But from a purely aesthetic standpoint, it's a cool blue item.
Yeah, I'd say it's cool. And Jon Richardson brings in a sexy pig fridge magnet.
Because he also thought blue meant filth. Now, where is this from? I don't know where Lanzarote is from.
Lanzarote? I'm Googling this as we type.
Emerson, I didn't Google it because you're my local knowledge. Why are you not local knowledge enough?
How are we spelling Lanzarote?
I believe there's two T's and an I.
Hang on. Lanzarote Beach. Just looking on a map now. If it's a real place, it's not in the UK. Or it's like in France or something.
I figured that. But
France or Italy.
Okay.
I need to stop facing away from my microphone because there's not really anywhere for me to sit, so I'm on my bed with my microphone just like directly in front of me, and my laptop like off to the side.
Okay. Yeah, but the basic point of this fridge magnet is that he bought it on a trip to Lanzarote. He then proceeded to, and it's a pig holding a photo book, and when you flip it open, the results are censored in the YouTube video, but one can presumably involve that it is pig pornography not featuring the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, David Cameron.
I mean, if you watch the episode on, say, if you've watched it, you can watch it on Dailymotion, the episode.
I didn't, but
uncensored.
Is it uncensored?
It's uncensored.
Oh dear.
I don't know if you want me to pull up the scene and describe what's in it.
I mean, you could. I that is up to you, man. If you want to describe this on the podcast,
I won't. I don't feel wholly comfortable doing it.
I was morbidly curious, but I think it's fun. It's
I'll
really
describe
funny.
it to you after the podcast, or I'll send you a screenshot.
That we can do. We can do.
If you are interested in seeing what was in the book, and you can't access Channel 4
or Dailymotion.
If you can access Dailymotion, it'll be on Dailymotion. If you can't access either, you're unlucky, mate. Are you okay? Have you got a cold?
No, I'm laughing.
Okay. Well, I think you used to have like a really guffawy kind of laugh, like when we did the whole ball gag stuff.
I do, but most of my subtle laughter is like breathing through my nose, but But this new microphone is evidently playing weird with it. Also, I'm glad that, like, I hope that I've realized now that most of my noises on the last couple of episodes have been really audibly breathing into the microphone. And I want to say I'm sorry, listeners, because all you can hear is for like 2 hours.
No, I mean, if I saw, like, when I'm, like, importing the audio into Audacity, I like, when I zoom out on your waveforms, there's so many gaps in mine, and there's, like, 2 in yours.
I am not a quiet person, even when I am not speaking.
You always need to be the biggest person in the room, don't you, Joe?
Yes, and I am.
Yep, you are. Anyway, scores. Jon Richardson and his Filthy Pig, 5 points. Joe, 4 with Seagoing Sexpot. Dot gets 3 with the Average White Band. Catherine, 2, and Richard, 1. Before we do Taskmaster Joe, actually, we'll do Taskmaster Joe first. Cue jingle. Taskmaster Joe.
Yep. And can I point out that in episode 2, there were a couple times when you said you were going to do the Taskmaster Joe jingle, and then it didn't happen.
I'm pretty
which
sure
is
I
really
added them in.
I was going through the audio file and I was like, oh, I guess he's not. But it works really as like a kind of funny joke. But anyways, so I also gave Jon Richardson first place because it's really funny. It's really funny. We have to bend to the rules of comedy here at some point. And, a filthy fridge magnet is hilarious.
Yeah, and I do appreciate about Joe's and John's is that they thought more outside the box.
Yeah. Seagoing Sexpot comes in second because... Actually, no, I'm sorry. I put that in third. Richard Osman's Riot Helmet goes in second because that one was, from an aesthetic standpoint, it's really cool. Insert your own views on police and their role in society here, and we're not going to get into that, but from an aesthetic standpoint, a Riot Helmet is like a really cool, set piece. So that's true. Second. Seagoing Sexpot is third because it would have been higher. That's right, that was my reasoning for this. It would have been higher if it hadn't been like such a cheap-ass pulp novel. Because... Feel No Threat by the Average White Band goes in fourth because, it's not that cool. Also, we do have to realize that he brought in Average White Band to Coolest Blue Thing. So
he could have. I don't know if you know this, but there's a British band called Blue.
He could have, if he'd brought in Blue, that would have been, straight
Blue
straight
is
to
an
the
English
top.
boy band. I don't know if they're like particularly big in America, but
I've never heard anything they've ever done.
Oh well, they're no offense to the guys of Blue, but I wouldn't say you've particularly. Actually, hang on. The group has also worked with artists such as Stevie Wonder, Elton John, and Lil' Kim. Anyway, actually, I take that back. Blue has the potential to maybe be popular outside of the UK, but if you don't know them, that sort of makes it a bit difficult. But I'd say just bring in any Blue album. Yeah. Would I recommend their music? Probably, but I don't listen to it. Sorry.
And then, it's like, it's just, it's like if you're going to bring in an album that has a blue cover on it, maybe not have it be by a band that has a different color in the name.
Yeah, probably. But I think if I had to bring in my favorite Blue album cover, it would probably be a Divide by Ed Sheeran.
Okay. I don't think I've listened to very little Ed Sheeran.
If you Google Divide album cover, you can see it.
Okay, I will do that later. And then
Sorry, can I go off on one of the little tangents we always go on?
Yes, you may.
This tangent is about Ed Sheeran album covers. So, all of Ed Sheeran's had like 3 major solo albums. And each album is named after a mathematics symbol. So his first one was called Plus. His second one was called Multiply or Times, depending on what you want it. And the most recent, and then the third one, which came out about 4 years ago, was called Divide. And there might be a fourth one soon because he started releasing new solo music again. But the thing with Divide is it has to have the track's name. So it actually has the word divide on it too, because it's not easy to find. It's not easy to type like the divide symbol into your keyboard on Spotify to search for it. So that's why I think it has. You could just type the word divide in.
Yeah,
like
or just
Spotify
type in
or something.
Ed Sheeran.
But with like plus and multiply, which is just like you could just type the appropriate symbol, and you'll probably get quite far.
But yeah, while you were doing that, I actually was looking up Blue, and they have never even charted in the United States for any of their albums. So I would imagine I've never heard of them. Interestingly enough, there's actually 3 different groups in the United Kingdom called Blue. There was Blue, the English boy band. There was Blue, a Scottish pop rock band formed.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing.
That's been going from the late that went from 1973 to 1979, and then from 1983 to present. So they're still around. And then there was also 1990s British rock group Bruford Levin Upper Extremities, or BLUE, who were around for about 2 years, from 1998 to 2000.
It's not very long-lived.
No, but they are in fact called Blue. And oh, wow, that is an album cover. Ooh, I'm going to send that to you, and we can just look at that for a moment.
Okay,
this is one of BLUE's album covers.
Oh, hello. It's pretty cool looking, I'll say so myself.
They look like they've all been photoshopped into this image, but from different other images.
That's so funny. I don't know if we'll title. I'm not sure, but I mean, we've looked at a couple potential thumbnails for this episode. Because I sent you that funny picture of Greg, with his cheeks, and you wanted to make the thumbnail Richard with the pineapple leaf sticking out of his crotch,
which is really funny.
Oh God, I just love this face by Greg so much. It's just like the transition to it is so sudden.
I didn't actually remember where that was in the episode, but we'll have to see.
The Greg face.
Where?
I think it's just after the first task. I think I can pinpoint the exact moment Greg does it when we talk about that. But first, before we move on,
I haven't said that I was giving Catherine last place for her dog collar, because, as I mentioned,
you don't like animals, but you don't like animal cruelty.
Yeah, I don't approve of the negative reinforcement as a training element sort of thing. You shouldn't do that to your dogs, and you shouldn't do that to your kids either. But that's it's just not great. And also, even if I was okay with that, a dog collar, it isn't cool. From an aesthetics perspective, this is not a cool looking item. Maybe if it was one of these explicitly punk rock style ones where it's got the giant spikes sticking out of it, that would be a cool dog collar. But this is not.
Before we move on to the first task, I want to ask you, and I need to remember to keep doing this. What would you bring in?
That's a great question.
Should I say what I would bring in? Well,
yeah, because I'm actually having trouble thinking of it.
My coolest blue thing would probably be what I use to podcast, my Blue Yeti microphone. #not.
That's a cheap shot, isn't it? Because isn't Blue the brand?
it's not that cheap because the microphone itself is blue as well.
Okay.
Let me just get a picture. I mean, I'm having to take this from a weird angle. If my voice sounded a bit weird, it's because I'm literally off to the side, like trying to get my microphone in place. I'm
actually having a lot of trouble thinking of what I would bring because,
I mean, to be fair though, I think the microphone is a good shout because, especially with a Blue Yeti microphone, you cannot get any bluer.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of this. Let me Google something really quick.
All right, I have put it in le Discord.
Okay, yeah, this is what I would bring in, and because I am really, really, I'm coming up against like I have no idea what else I would bring.
It's not. You could do better than Catherine's dog collar. Ooh, Doritos.
Now, because they're blue and they say Cool Ranch.
I mean, how many Doritos flavors can you get in the States?
Many. I'm just gonna put this out here. I don't like Doritos. I really don't like Doritos, but it's such a good gag that I would go for it. And then also there's the joke of it being, because apparently in foreign countries, Cool Ranch Doritos are sold as Cool American because you people don't have ranch dressing really.
No, I mean,
which again is
I don't even know if I want to say the word because it's one of those words that doesn't sound good in a British accent.
But
I say it anyway.
Sure.
Ranch.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. But yeah, no, Cool Ranch Doritos are a very like uniquely American thing. Sold elsewhere as cool.
I have now 2 tangents I want to go on, but finish what you're saying.
Go ahead. I'm gonna actually look up a picture of Cool American Doritos.
This goes on to like the topic of words that rhyme, words that like sound different in depending on whether you say them in a British or American accent. There's a Shrek video game which I'm not gonna say the name of this game because literally it won't work. I'm gonna type it in the Discord and I want you to say it, okay? That's the name of the game. Say that.
Hassle at the Castle?
Exactly. Now do you know why I can't say that?
I want to hear you say this.
Do you want me to say it in my regular accent or an American accent?
Do not do an American accent. Right. Do it in a British accent.
Hassle at the Castle.
Yep. I was like, castle is pronounced differently.
Exactly.
But no, have you see the Cool American chips?
Oh, yeah, I have.
That is what Cool Ranch is called in other countries.
I've just noticed that the I in the Doritos logo is triangular, like a Dorito.
Oh yeah, fun with kerning. If you ever look at the FedEx logo, there's an arrow hidden inside.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. The thing I want to say about Doritos is, obviously, I'm sure in like American because most supermarket, small supermarket, most supermarkets in this country will have like a very small American section with like.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they'll sell things. Well, they'll sell like things like Lucky Charms and Twinkies and. Just in that section, but obviously they'll sell like Doritos with all like the other like packet snack kind of things. I don't think there's more than 4 flavors sold nationally in the UK.
Hold on, I'm googling how many flavors of Doritos there are.
The number, if I could think of, I only think there's 3 like properly sold in the UK.
Hold on, I'm gonna send this to you. And I hope it doesn't like pull up the UK page for you. This is the Doritos website, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is, I think right now they sell 17 different flavors of Doritos.
Oh god! I mean, I'll tell you the ones you can buy in this country. Okay, plain, cheese, chili.
Okay.
That's it. That's all the Doritos you can buy.
Plain cheese and chili?
I'm sure if you go to like I said, you go to the international or American sections of small supermarket, because not every supermarket will have one, but every supermarket will most likely sell Doritos, but only those flavors.
I think some stores do have a generic international section where they will sell things, because we have in a lot of supermarkets there'll be an Asian food section and a Hispanic food section, but there is also sometimes a generic international section. I think the only English thing I've ever gotten out of there is it pronounced McVitie's Digestives, or am I butchering that?
Yeah,
okay.
That's how it is.
But yeah, no, they have McVitie's Digestives, so that's about it.
Do you have Jaffa Cakes in America?
Jaffa Cakes are chocolate orange things, right?
Chocolate orange. In that vein.
We have chocolate oranges. This, if we were waffling about blue earlier, this is not even the worst thing, but we have some chocolate orange flavored things. I know my mom bought an actual, it was shaped like an orange, but it was made of chocolate.
Okay.
But I don't know if Jaffa Cakes or any, yes, they are. Aldi's sells them. Aldi's occasionally sells them.
Okay.
Aldi is the best place to buy, European-esque food in the United States, or at least in my general area.
There's also there's a Lidl as well. There's a Lidl quite near where I live at university, so I can.
Lidl is expanding into the United States, but I think they have 10 stores.
Yeah, that's not expensive. Asda, the British supermarket chain, is owned by Walmart, right? Yeah. I was going to say, semi-related to Doritos, Pringles isn't much better. I'd say you can buy about 6 or 7 flavors of Pringles in the UK.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I wonder, how many flavors of Oreos do you guys get?
If I had to rattle them all off, well, outside of international / American sections of supermarkets, there's the regular Oreos. There's thin Oreos. Well, in terms that not really, this isn't really flavors. We'll have more different varieties of the classic Oreo. So there's the original thin. There's double, which has 2 layers of cream inside instead of just one. And then I think you can get mini Oreos.
Okay. I am on Oreo's
I think
website.
You can get chocolate Oreos somewhere. I mean, you definitely normally without going to the international food section. But yeah.
Okay, I am going through Oreo's website, and they have 5 different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 different tabs to separate the cookies, and then each one of those tabs opens up a page with at least 7 different kinds in it.
Okay.
We don't fuck around when it comes to cookies.
I mean, I'd say if there's one thing that British people have quite a lot of, in relative to Americans, it's Ben & Jerry's flavors.
Okay, that's weird, but I don't. Yeah, because Ben & Jerry's is owned by Unilever, and Unilever's European.
Obviously,
that makes sense.
There's been so many Ben & Jerry's flavors. Obviously, a lot of them have been discontinued. But yeah, you've got the classics. You've got cookie dough brownie, fish food. What else is there? There's baked Alaska. I don't know if you've had that. No,
Cherry Garcia.
Do you know what the baked Alaska one is?
Because not off the top of my head.
It's like the white fish food, basically. You know what fish? Do you know what fish food? You know the fish food flavor, right?
I don't eat a lot of ice creams because I know it's fish, PHISH for the band. I don't eat. My favorite ice cream is chocolate chip cookie dough. So
That's
I'm
not
much
bad.
more on the like vanilla side of ice creams.
That's fair. I'm really craving some ice cream right now. What time does
Well,
the local shop near me close that does good
I don't
Sainsbury's?
know.
I'm just checking. Anyways, I think this is a great tangent that could honestly be worthy of like a 3-4 hour podcast, but I think we should move on.
See, we got most of the way through a task before we did the banter this time. Now everyone's going to be confused.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I think if you're watching on YouTube, you could just skip to the next bit.
Yes, if you're on YouTube, please skip ahead of this bit that you're already watching.
Yeah, okay. Oh, it'll be closed by now. It's Sunday. Anyway, I'll just go tomorrow. Anyway, next task. First proper task, right?
Yes.
How far in are we? We're 45 minutes. Okay. Although I think this is better than we've done before. Okay. You can take the reins on this one.
Task 1. There is a poster pinned to a tree just beside the gate to the main road of the Taskmaster estate. It says, "Rescue the cat. Best rescue wins. Your time starts now." Answers to the name Patatas.
Good name.
Now, we do now. There is a cat up a tree, almost the same tree as the note has been pinned to, but it's like 20 feet in the air. It is a fake cat. Because they couldn't use a real cat, and this will play into how everything else goes because, once everybody realized it wasn't a real cat, they stopped giving a shit about it. So, Doc, Jon, and Joe are put together, but they all do varying things. They
have similar methods.
Similar methods, but varying approaches to this. So, Doc first reveals that he has a cat. And before he realizes it's a fake cat, that he's like, oh, that fucker doesn't come to when I call his name either. So how is this going to work? So, but,
Richard was the only person who didn't use a tennis ball, to my knowledge.
I didn't think Doc did.
Oh, no, what he did, I think Doc tied like a string to a tennis ball and then hurled that.
Although, considering how long Richard did it, it might not have been shown.
Oh, well, honestly, this was easily...
easily Richard's worst episodes.
I think this is one of the worst performances by any Taskmaster contestant ever for Richard in this episode.
But yeah, Doc uses a volleyball and gets it stuck up the tree.
Yep.
He tries a rope, and that manages to work. He gets it down and he pulls it off the tree branches, and it falls to the ground. Then we have Jon. Jon, because everyone first goes around and looks for it. They see it's up the tree, and they have to go and get supplies and everything. Yep. Jon uses a volleyball first. He also gets it stuck. He throws other things, including a lacrosse stick and a croquet mallet and a broom, I think, and a crutch. And most of those get stuck in the tree as well.
Yep.
Except the croquet mallet, because he hurls the croquet mallet like a javelin, manages to get the cat out of the tree, and actually manages to catch it on its way down. He was very displeased with the entire process of this, and he called the cat a dick, and he called Alex a dick, and it did not go very well. Joe Wilkinson...
Did Doc call Alex dude, or is that in a later episode?
Doc called Alex dude during the scoring of this, which has never actually happened in Alex's life before. So Alex was very...
oh, wait, sorry, no, that's next episode. He calls Alex dude.
Oh, well, whenever it was. But Joe, meanwhile...
He's like saying it in exasperation of not seeing the bridge.
Oh, yes. Yeah. That is what he did.
Sorry for the mix-up, folks.
But Joe, meanwhile, starts off with tennis balls, uses and then switches to a bigger volleyball. I'm assuming this is a volleyball, right? Because it's a dark-colored ball, so you can't see the pattern on it.
Oh, wait, no, I think I know what it is. I think it's a retro football.
Okay. Because it's a dark pattern, so I can't really make out what because the only way to differentiate between different kinds of sports balls, but it's like balls between like volleyball, basketball, soccer balls. It's the only way to tell like the pattern and the stitching. And this one was dark colored. I almost thought it was a medicine ball, but that wouldn't be it either.
No, medicine ball would be way too heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be it because they wouldn't be able to throw it. But he uses the soccer ball and gets the cat down. And these three, they do scoring. They show these three, then they cut back to the studio and they tell the times. So Doc did it in...
Doc calls the cat a ginger bastard.
No, I thought it was a ginger piece of shit.
No, he calls it a ginger bastard.
And either way, I was actually about to bring that up because Greg hears this, thinks it's being directed at Alex, and I was very confused because Greg got upset on Alex's behalf, which is something that is that goes against the entire relationship they have on this show. But, what do I know?
Not much. Anyway.
Also, Greg and Alex are holding hands throughout most of this task. Did you notice that?
Not in this specific
segment?
task.
No, in the studio segment, they're holding hands.
Like pre-champion of champions, Greg would probably have held Alex's hand a couple times, but I think post-champion of champions, Greg would just be like swatted Alex away.
Yeah, this is going to be very weird when we get beyond like champion of champions and we see Greg just being a douchebag.
Oh yeah, Greg doesn't start wearing glasses until like either champion of champions or series 6.
Yeah.
It's when he gets his glasses that he truly becomes like a tyrannical, iron fistical leader. If such
4 eyes, no soul.
Anyway, should we get some times?
Yeah, Doc did it in 7 minutes. John did it in 20 minutes 55 seconds. And Joe Wilkinson was very quick, 3 minutes 55.
Yep.
Then we get Catherine.
Catherine starts serving tennis balls to it as well.
Well, Catherine was really not pleased the cat was up the tree. She was very upset that Richard Osmond was part of this because Osmond could just reach up and grab it.
Little did she realize that Osmond would quit after about 3/4 of an hour.
Yes, as I was about to say, but it's just to point this out, the cat's like 20 feet up in the air, so the cat cannot actually be grabbed by Osmond. But
also, can I make one comment on what Catherine did? Catherine calls the cat a son of a bitch, and I don't think Catherine knows her basic animals because that's a cat, not a dog.
Mm-hmm. But she also later said that she was referring to herself in that method, but she would in fact be a daughter of a bitch if she was referring to herself.
More likely just a bitch.
Yep. But she makes a long stick out of taping things together and eventually just pokes it out of the tree, and she handed Alex a small mesh bag that managed to and it really did not look big enough to hold the cat. And she said, "Can you hold this open and catch it?" And it's like, I was watching this like, Catherine, that's not going to work. And then somehow it did.
Yeah. It wasn't the cleanest of catches, but it was still good.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, no, totally catches it. We did not get a time for this, though, which is very interesting. But
Richard, however, oh man.
He also assembles a long stick to poke with the cat. He does not succeed with this. I believe the stick collapses. And then he just starts throwing everything he can get his hands on up at the tree with no success. After about 45 minutes, he lost the will to live and went inside. And then I would like to point this out. At 13 minutes, 11 seconds into the episode, we get a shot with some sad music playing over it of Richard going into the house. But it's taken from the cat's perspective, so it's up in the tree. And I was wondering, did they have a guy on a ladder do this? Did they have a camera on a pole? Did they use a drone? Because all of those things could have definitely been used to help Richard, unless was he not allowed to use the camera equipment to do this? Because I was very
I
interested
don't know. I mean,
by
like,
how that worked.
well, you know how they're not allowed to go on the roof for safety. I don't think
Yeah.
they're like wholly allowed to go up in the trees either, or up too high.
Well, no, but I'm wondering, did the camera crew have like a really long stick that they were just hiding from him?
Oh, I
Because
misinterpreted what you said.
the way the lens works, the way that shot works, it was a very wide angle shot. It looks like it was a GoPro on a stick. But if they were like eye level with the cat. But if they had the cat at eye level, then presumably Osmond could have used that to just poke it out. But I don't know.
Probably.
And then, but yeah, so we then we get into scoring, and it is mentioned that Catherine should have disturbed that Catherine had that a lot of the people got the cat down by disturbing the branches with their balls, and Catherine was like, I should have done that, and Richard should have disturbed the branches with his balls as well.
Okay, sorry, I think something came out of my phone just then.
Okay, but yeah, we don't get times for either Catherine or Richard.
We don't need a time for Richard. He didn't rescue the cat.
Yeah, he got 0 points. Catherine got first place because she actually caught the cat, which is the best rescue.
I think if you actually complete the task to that good of an extent, your time doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Catherine could have taken, like, half an hour for all we know, but she actually caught the cat, and to an extent, it would have been the least harmed.
Yeah. Doc, meanwhile, got second place, even though he took longer, because he used a rope to get it down, and Cat's like straight.
And so, Joe 3 and John 2.
Yes. And then,
what would you have scored this? Wait, cue jingle?
Taskmaster Joe.
Honestly, I wouldn't have really done any different. It was really hard to tell like any specific approach apart.
All right. Don't cue the jingle. But anyway, it means the scores are everyone is on 7 except Richard, who's on 1.
Yep.
Next task 2, and this is a classic.
Conceal this pineapple.
Conceal this pineapple on your person. Alex says that it's a game he likes to play with Greg. Conceal the pineapple.
Yeah. The exact language of this task is conceal this pineapple on your person. No part of the pineapple may be thrown away. You have 20 minutes, after which Alex will inspect you. Most incorrect guesses wins.
Very true.
Which I would just like to point out that Catherine immediately spots a competitive advantage here. But she claims to have only done so with smaller fruits like courgettes and apples.
Would that be a smaller fruit, though, a courgette?
Smaller than a pineapple.
Probably. Now, I hate to admit it, that because I'm talking about this task, I didn't make super extensive notes, so I might need a bit of a hand.
I did take detailed notes here.
We should have swapped then. I know. Why don't you talk about this one and I'll talk about the next one?
Okay. Yeah, Catherine immediately spots a competitive advantage here, but actually, I'm sorry. I just looked up. I didn't know what a courgette was, because that it's a zucchini. That joke's a lot funnier now. Okay, bless you, Catherine Ryan.
Is it wrong to say that I don't get it?
Catherine Ryan spotted a competitive advantage with a place to hide the pineapple. What? Yeah. Emerson, I don't want to have to explain this to you on our podcast. Why don't you... Okay, hold on.
Mate, I'm tired. I don't know.
You have been up for 4 hours. Hold on.
Yeah, but I have as much energy as I would have if I'd just woken up in the middle of the night.
Okay.
We're sorry if we're not up to scratch today. I don't think this is going to be one of our more popular episodes.
Hold on. I'm just going to send you this.
I mean, there's a part of me that thinks I might have it, but
I'm going to send you this, and you can interpret this from there. This is not going up on the video part as. This is not going up in the video part.
Now. I don't need to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, I'm slow to catch on today. Well, although I wasn't slow with the Doc Brown thing.
No, you weren't. But anyways,
different jokes hit different people in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
but
please keep going.
So everyone tries eating the pineapple. But Jon also tries to drink it, which, notably he does not.
Drinking's not a bad idea, considering it was said it.
Which notably he does not. He does not try and make it into a smoothie or anything. He just puts it all into a blender and then notes it's very gritty.
Yep.
But Doc, a man of not many foods, as we noted in last episode, is a pineapple man, and tries eating a lot of the pineapple, but vastly overestimates his ability into how to do so. Then Catherine, a lot of people look like drug mules here, because Catherine, is putting pineapple in bags and then shoving them into, she brought a corset, I guess, and so is shoving it up against her chest and down the front of her pants and on her legs, and then is cling filming them to her body like she's smuggling cocaine through an airport.
Lol.
And then a lot of bags of pineapples are going down other people's pants too. People are putting pineapple leaves in their shoes, because you have to use all of the pineapple.
You do indeed.
And so everyone is sticking them everywhere.
Well, not everywhere, because some people do red herring it.
Well, yes, that is true. We'll get to that in a moment. Joe Wilkinson specifically forgot that he would have to move, and so immediately regretted all of his decisions as soon as he started walking out to Alex.
He does,
which is really funny, because he's also used these terrible bags that are not they're orange and yellow, so they're not even discreet. And then
Joe Wilkinson, honestly, man.
Richard Osman cut the stem of the pineapple off and put it so it was sticking out of his fly.
Yep.
And then
that's
Jon
the image
Richardson.
You want to go with.
Yes.
Hmm.
And then Jon Richardson honestly had one of the smartest approaches that I would never have thought of, which is that he hid the pineapple in a bunch of different spots around his body, so that when Alex was finding all of that, he would have to guess, is it in your pocket? Yes. Which one? Is it in your pants pocket? No, this is an orange. Is it in the key pocket of your pants? Yes.
I think Jon had outsmarted Alex on that.
Jon had outsmarted Alex, but then this is all done in the driveway outside the Taskmaster house. So Alex is inspecting them. This is actually a common prop that we've been seen used in the commercial break idents, where it's Alex is standing there and holding up his fingers to indicate which commercial break it is.
Yep.
This is a pedal-powered rotating platform that looks like someone smushed together like a Lazy Susan and an exercise bike. And it's never quite explained what it is or where it came from. It's sort of there.
What's a Lazy Susan again? Is it like a tandem?
It's a rotating thing you have in your. It's a turntable or rotating tray that's put on your countertop.
Oh yeah, I know. I get it now.
To spin things around.
Oh yeah, they have those in because the picture you've just sent me is from I
sent you the Wikipedia article. Restaurant. Yeah. But yeah, so Jon went first. Jon had a bowl of pineapples on his head, and then it was really funny because because Alex like, have you got a bowl of pineapples on your head? It's like, yes. And then, have you got any in your mouth? And he opens his mouth and grapes fall out.
That was tricky. That was sneaky.
Which is about the level that so what Jon is actually like going at here. Then Richard's got Richard stuffed stuff into his ankle. That was really not subtle, but that's how that went. And then Joe Wilkinson had pineapple go up his ass, which from the way it was said, I don't think it was intentional. I think he shoved pineapple down there and then it just sort of worked its way up.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Man, that bold move shoving pineapple up your ass.
Mm-hmm. And then Catherine notably did not eat any. So she's about the only person who didn't. Joe had his hat on. That was really interesting because he had it on, and then when he took it off, there was actually a roll of tape under there. So he also had this.
Sneaky.
Doc Brown. We didn't get to see most of the guesses for Doc, but Alex very specifically guessed that he had pineapple cling filmed to his torso, and I was like, that's very surprising that he managed to guess that. But I guess he must have guessed that Doc didn't have anything anywhere else.
I think maybe Alex had worked with Doc enough to know that maybe. I think it's kind of easy to tell if there's a little bit of padding on someone or the equivalent.
And then Joe had some plastic bags around his crotch. And then the next line I've written in my notes is, can everyone not look at Joe's ass as he leaves? Because and Alex asked him that, and then Joe, as he walks off, is like, I'm 40 years old, happy birthday. Because it was really not a dignified exit.
Nope, not at all. I mean, what a good birthday present for Joe. He got to shove pineapple up his arse.
But yeah, so Richard Osman at the end of all this, because these were all like cut together, so we didn't get to see a lot of individual stuff for each person.
No, we didn't.
But Richard Osman hit the pineapple in 4 places and that spawned 8 incorrect guesses from Alex. Jon hid them in 17 places and got 20 wrong guesses because he was just hiding them everywhere.
Everywhere you can think of.
And then Doc Brown got 4 places on his body, but 5 wrong guesses. Catherine got 4 places as well, and then 14 wrong guesses, mainly because Alex was really trying to dance around the fact that he did not want to have a sexual harassment thing go on by guessing her front area, as he says.
Oh, Alex, and then you awkward little man.
And then, interestingly enough, they did not say how many places Joe Wilkinson had hidden stuff, because it seemed like they were about to, and then someone interrupted, and then they just sort of moved on without mentioning it.
I didn't pay attention to that.
I did. It was very interesting because I was like, well, how many did Joe have? And they didn't mention it. Or if they did, it went by so fast I didn't hear it. So but we do know that Joe Wilkinson was
just
last.
letting you know I'm still here.
Yeah, I did know you were still here. And then but yeah, Joe Wilkinson was last. And then Jon Richardson was first, and everyone else sort of fills in. This was a very badly, from a research perspective, this was very badly done. In who did what and how and what the scores were at the end. But I trust you have the scores written down, because I certainly didn't.
The scores, stupidly I didn't calculate the scores. No, I did calculate the scores. Jon is 5, Catherine 4, Richard 3, Doc 2, and Joe 1. What I don't have are the cumulative scores up to this point.
Well, everyone but Osman had 7 going, because this is...
they did. That's true. So Richard would be on... This is quick maths. Richard would be on 4. Joe would be on 8. Doc would be on 9. This is great content. Catherine would be on 11 and John would be on 12. Sorry, I sort of fumbled over my words.
Can we just name this episode Great Content Trademark Symbol?
Sure. And
yeah,
the thumbnail?
Osman with pineapple sticking out of his crotch.
Okay, good. Anyway, well, we're moving quite well, so this shouldn't be one of our longer episodes.
Yep. Onwards to set a fun task.
Yeah, I'll take care of this one because I just didn't really want to talk about the pineapple task, if I'm being honest. Anyway,
okay.
Jon Richardson is set 4 tasks by his 4 opponents.
Well, it wasn't. You know,
he didn't know this at the time. He didn't know this at the time.
Yeah.
And what John had to do was so we'll talk about what the tasks were. So one of the tasks was like prove how strong you are, in which John lifts up the nearest thing to him, which is just like a table. Pretty impressive, but
it was a little. It would have been heavier. It would have been funnier if he hadn't tried to actually lift the table and go, "Oh, it's a heavy table, isn't it?"
Yeah, I mean, just proving how little Jon Richardson is. And then the next one is watching a clip of Greg's comedy.
Yeah, a clip of Greg's stand-up.
In which he talks about how tall of a man he is, which Jon Richardson has to sit there and be like, fuck you, Greg.
I've seen this one before.
Perform a William Tell Overture rendition with your cheeks. Oh, sorry, I was going to try and do it now.
We will not. We will not do that. And then the next one was present a makeup tutorial. Best tutorial wins. You have 1 minute.
That was me doing the William Tell Overture on my cheeks, by the way.
I had not heard that at all, so you might want to do it closer to the microphone. But this is where we got Welcome to Rico Face, because
I want to know what Rico Face is, because I still don't really
I think he was just coming up with a name on the fly, and he knew it had to be a makeup tutorial. The tutorial was how to degrade yourself in just under a minute. Now, while you try and get the William Tell Overture to sound recognizable, I would like to point out that the task actually was... This was not
Guess who set each task?
Yeah, this was not done like in the last time when we had someone counting beans and we had counting SpaghettiOs and whatnot. This one was actually it started like a regular task
so that is what won Josh Widdicombe the series. Thank you very much.
It was what won Josh Widdicombe the series, but this one was the other 4 contestants actually. It was a normal task and it was set a fun task. Your task must not take more than 1 minute. You have 10 minutes. Your time starts now. And it has the task on an Underwood typewriter that's sitting on the desk in the main room of the Taskmaster house. And that's where
the typewriter is normally what is shown setting to have the task set on. It's in the intro. It's in most of like the transitions to the tasks. From studio to the house.
I'm not into vintage typewriter, so I couldn't say the exact model, but it does say Underwood in big letters on the back. And then everyone else is like, okay, who am I setting this for? Is it for the others? And you sort of get the guess that it's like, now I can have some fun with this. But Jon Richardson, who was not featured in that compilation, is notably upset looking as soon as he sees it, because he's like, oh, I get this now. And then they go into this, and John must guess who set each task for him. He doesn't get any points for actually completing the dumbass tasks.
That doesn't really matter though, because he gets it all right.
But if he gets it right, he gets 1 point. If he gets it wrong, that person gets 1 point. Yes, he did in fact guess who set each task, which
I think it was very, very obvious that Catherine set the makeup task. Because she was the only girl on the series and knew that the other 4, everyone else doing the task would be the 4 blokes.
Yeah.
So she'd want to see them sort of like make a fool of themselves in that sense. Anyway, so the strength task was set by Joe. Richard made John watch the clip. Doc was the one who came up with the William Tell Overture. and Catherine had Jon sit down and do a makeup tutorial. Jon nails them all on the head, and he gets 4 points, while everyone else gets fuck all.
Which I would actually like to point something else out, which is that in the actual, in the YouTube comments in the video, someone actually points out that you can just about tell when Doc is writing his task. He actually hits the keys, the typewriter, in beat with the William Tell overture. So it's like click, 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 click for the first, as he starts typing. And I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but it's a really good little bit.
It is a good
that
bit.
you can just about recognize.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I didn't notice that.
I didn't either, and then I read it, and then it sort of clicked into place. It's like, oh, they did. Oh, he did. Now,
what are you eating something, or are you like?
I'm drinking water because we have been talking for.
I don't have anything to drink with me today.
Oh my God! Between episodes, you should go get some caffeine.
Oh no! I'm telling you what. In between episodes, I'm gonna have dinner, mate.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, if we can wrap up this episode in about 40 minutes, I'm gonna take a break, go have dinner, and then I'll be able to record at like say 8, 9.
Okay, but So while we've now have Emerson's dinner plans all set, we move on to task 3, which is IKEA-esque
task 4.
Task
4.
VT task 3, whole show task 4, which is using only the items on the rug, create the best thing for the Taskmaster. You have 30 minutes.
Can I say one thing before?
Yes.
So the teams had when because this is a team task. When Catherine's team first enters the room, she's just like, "Oh no!" when she sees everything. Then it cuts to Jon and Richard entering, and Jon says, "Oh yes." 2 completely different interactions from both teams.
Which furthers my belief that Catherine does not go to IKEA. As we mentioned a couple episodes ago, when Catherine did not know what lingonberries were, even though that's like the one Swedish thing that everybody should know because they've been to an IKEA.
Yep.
This implies that because this task is set up in IKEA-esque flatpack nonsense. There's a bunch of shit laid out like it's been put out for a flatpack
furniture.
Yeah, for IKEA flatpack furniture. There's even the task even is like task with 2 umlauts over the top of it.
Which is funny because IKEA doesn't have any like umlauts in its name. It doesn't need to though because it's blue and yellow everywhere.
Yeah, it's very much a rock and roll umlaut where it's like they put the umlauts over whatever they want to.
But obvious foreshadowing is foreshadowed.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of pillows, wooden rods, wooden slats, plastic wheel things with holes in them, some screwdrivers, some tape, some scissors.
I honestly, I could not talk about this task because it's just like there's so much going on and it's so confusing.
Yes, it is a little weird. Notably, no fasteners of any kind. They don't get screws. They don't get nuts and bolts. They don't get anything except tape.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess we should just talk about it because this is going to be a difficult one to talk about.
Oh no, I had it. I have it down. I went through this and I watched it. So Doc, Catherine, and Joe are on one team. They originally decided to go for a modern art or a sculpture. And then this quickly transitions into making a fort and then a tiki bar, which is called TM Tiki. Notable things among this task is that Joe Wilkinson is very
negative,
very, very done with this from the first instant. Which
I want to play a soundbite of his negativity.
I was going to say they have a supercut of all of his whining during this. If we can just drop that audio
the thing is, yeah, we'll drop it here.
This is going to be horse, isn't it? I cannot tell you how disappointed I am with this. Wait, this is nonsense, isn't it? It's some metal, some plastic,
Maybe
and a
this
cloth.
This could be
This could be horse. I'm really. I don't know if I'm sort of the only one who thinks this isn't anything. I think it's the core idea that worries me.
Now, what I love about this soundbite is that it's like Joe Wilkinson says some things I don't think he would say otherwise, to be honest. Because I think he said words cannot describe how disappointed I am or something. Because that's too wordy for you, Joe, mate.
This is all him just being upset. This is very good because you can see them all like dropping the acts they have and actually just being themselves. Because it's like they're being filmed while they're doing this, so they're not always being on.
Yep.
So you get to see a bit of behind the scenes-esque stuff. Catherine led the team, and she noted that they had to use gaffer tape and a bossy bitch.
Although she was compared to a toddler leading everyone.
Yeah. So. But they eventually create TM Tiki, a nice-looking tiki bar.
Very nice-looking
tiki bar.
Then
we have Richard Osmond and his son, Jon Richardson. They were going to make a den at first. Then they decide they're not going to make a structure at all. Then they decide that they are going to kidnap Alex Horn and make a video ransom note and a stool. They put the stools together. They tape Alex to it, which apparently they do so very early in the half hour. And they're not entirely certain why they have done this, even though this is the only part of the plan they actually thought out.
I want to talk about something. I think they make like a structure of like some white tarpaulin or something, or white fabric.
And they some cut kind two of head like holes white in it. Paper.
And then it's like, I think Richard and Alex do this. Like Richard puts his head through the back, and then he puts Alex's head through the front. And then they tilt from side to side as though they're on a roller coaster, which is like, oh, whoa. And
like, Alex is being forced to do this because he doesn't really want.
I don't know why Richard was reacting that way. It's literally like... It's funny. It's funny, but it's also nothing.
Yeah. Well,
like, you're not on a roller coaster.
Oh, but it looks funny. I'm sure it makes sense. It makes as little sense in context, but it's funny. It made sense to him.
Probably. Then, it's just like I always thought that bit was weird.
It's just people goofing around, and then they decide that Alex being underneath this white paper tarpaulin it's a good tickling station because Alex can't get away. And Alex is apparently very ticklish, as he is then tickled throughout the rest of the show by Greg and by them during this task.
Yep.
Then they filmed the ransom video, which, if we can just play that audio right here.
Hey, Greg, you don't know me because I wear my disguise. But sometimes I know you have an assistant. You want to tickle him. You tie him to a stool, you see behind him, you tickle him, but people know you tickle him. So you enter the Taskmaster tie-up tickle station.
I should wear a disguise as well, really.
It's Richard Osman sat behind him. From Pointless. He let himself go.
Oh, he's gonna love this. I mean, what's not to love, right?
Yeah, I thought that it's not a strange Mexican accent. It's a strange Colombian accent, according to Richardson. But yeah, they made a Taskmaster tie-up tickle station.
That sounds really, really wrong.
It does sound really, really wrong. But then, and then we get to the scoring. Catherine, Joe, and Doc got 4 points each because Joe was, say it with me now, a burden.
A burden.
And they would have gotten 5 points otherwise.
Yep. Literally, and like then, the scoring was like the trio got 4 points, obviously weighed down by Joe's and negativity. And Jon and Richard just get 1 point each. Like,
as I can kind of deserved.
but literally, I was so lost throughout this whole task.
That I thought it was very funny. I thought it was very easy to follow, but but I don't know.
I don't know.
And
man.
then we're on to the live task, which has more potatoes.
Like I said, there's one potato-based task every episode of this series.
Yeah, and there's two next. Is
No, I
there
think
two?
there's just
No,
one.
there's no. Yeah, but yeah. Now this one's you.
The live task: build the tallest freestanding tower using potato-based snacks.
And potatoes.
Yeah, potato-based products is what I've written. My bad. So Joe is when they find out they've got 100 seconds. Joe Wilkinson loses his mind, and he likes.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wanted.
Yeah,
did he want more or less? I think he wanted
less.
more. He
because
wanted
was
less.
Just gonna find.
He wanted to find the biggest potato, and upon saying that, he pulls like a face. Yeah, you'll have to take a screen grab of that and put it in because it's like that. That's like the most emotion Joe Wilkinson has shown in a while.
Yeah, no. Both of these,
I think
both the live task in this one and the live task in the last one, are really, really funny in terms of on-screen reactions.
Yeah. Joe showed more positive emotion to his like biggest potato statement than he did to when he threw the potato in the golf hole, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like he like the whole time, and prior to like finding out that it was null and void, he just had like a smug smile on his face, but now he's just got like an excited kid in a candy shop face when he says biggest potato.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But,
so he's pissed off at that. Time starts. Catherine Ryan attempts to empty all her potatoes out. Joe bites his potato. There's not really I actually wrote down not a great deal to say. Other than like people tried different methods to make their towers. I think Joe Wilkinson, he gets like the potato waffles and starts layering them or like putting them into like a tower shape. But when 100 seconds passes, everyone's tower has either fallen or they are holding.
Well, no. It Joe's tower fell immediately after the whistle blew.
Oh yeah.
However, there is some controversy because what happens is that the 100 seconds ended as when the whistle blew.
Yep. And
Alex gave them a 2-second warning, which I'm actually a little bit upset about this because the whole point of this shit is that the whistle blows and you take your hands off and that's it and it's done. But
I hate my phone so much.
Why?
Because it keeps just making noise. Like I'll flick through Instagram and it'll just like play a video I don't want to watch.
I just turned the volume down on mine, but when they do that, Greg decides that it's as the whistle blew before anyone has even any like comprehension of the whistle's being blown, and everyone is touching their tower.
Everyone's tower is either fallen or they're touching
Doc
it.
Brown.
Except Doc Brown.
Except Doc Brown. So,
it's a shame though because right up until this point, Jon Richardson was the favorite to win the episode.
Yeah.
And then everyone got 0 except Doc Brown, and Doc Brown sneakily took first place at the last second, winning all the blue items.
Mm-hmm. Which I would like to point out that he immediately, which I think that it's bullshit that's how they did that. I really do think it's bullshit because you need to give them at least enough time to like, recognize that the whistle has been blown.
Yeah.
And so it's all just bullshit, but Doc wins, and the only thing I have of note up there is that he puts on the dog collar and begins barking like a dog to test it, which is really I don't understand why he did that, but cool.
I mean, I don't know. I've just been completely discombobulated the entire episode.
It happens.
Yeah. This is not a personal favorite of mine to record, no offense.
Watch as this one becomes our most popular episode.
We love Emerson when he's all tired and negative and stuff. This is why I want to eat in between recording, so that I have a little more energy.
Okay.
So anyway, final scores. Doc overtakes Jon at the last minute with 18. Jon finishes at second on 17. Catherine 15. Joe on 12. And Richard Osman, in probably one of the worst performances in Taskmaster history, finishes on 5 points.
Mm-hmm. And it is a very... Actually, I wonder if anyone's gotten any worse, but...
Definitely not this season. In spite of everything, Richard has the worst single episode performance. Obviously, Joe Wilkin has consistently scored the fewest points, but Richard had the single worst episode performance, which was this episode.
Yeah. But, then that's this episode. Emerson's going to go have his dinner plans, and...
You guys should be lucky this one's quite short, considering we've had like a couple 2-hour episodes in a row.
I seriously was thinking I might have been sitting here for like 6 hours while we recorded both of these, but
well, you can take a break and have some lunch or something.
I might do that. Just message me when you want. We should really like have these, production discussions after we finish recording. So I'm going to hit stop. Hey, it's exactly 1.5 hours. We shaved 30 whole minutes off of this.
Well, mine says we've got like 10 seconds left.
Yeah, it is 1:29:56, 7, 8, 9, hour and a half. There we go. I'm gonna hit stop.
All right. We'll be back in about for a week. For you it'll be about a week. For us it'll be about a couple of hours.
All right. Goodbye.
Ciao.
Set your time travel watches appropriately.
Great.